Good morning to all. Hello.
Good
Good
morning.
morning to all the third year student. You are not yet in the final year. Final year. But very good morning to all the third year student as well as final year students. This is a placement webinar for preparation for the 2021 pass out batch. With me, Professor Samarjit Patnaik and Professor Biswajit Sar, very well known to faculty of CET by all the alumni as well as the current students. They are with me. They will discuss regarding the placement policy and what are the challenges ahead of the placement. So, as you know, the challenges is COVID-19. We are aware that almost all the institutions and almost all the companies are closed for the last 3 months. So there is no client demand, or who is there will be no supply from the factory as well as from the software company, which leads to reduce the manpower in terms of technical, in terms of labor. All things are now become standstill. So we are very much hopeful that in the month of July and August, all things will come to normal. So in this situation, most challenging is that there may not be on-campus placement. So the challenges for the COVID-19 due to COVID-19 are mostly the lockdown period or personal interview will not happen till November. We are expecting November. We have contacted almost 100, more than 100 companies during this lockdown period. So most of the companies HR view is that the executive may not travel to your institute or any of the institutes, so they may go for online assessment test, and personal interview may be through Skype or Zoom. So that is the most challenging. How will go with this? How will go with this challenge? Second thing is that the recruitment process may be start in the month of November or December. Another chance is that they may not come to on campus. There may be a pooled campus, and the pooled campus may be happened in Bhubaneswar in any of the university or colleges. Most likely, we, Burla, KIT and ITR will be participating most of the companies. So you have to compete globally or at least Bhubaneswar locally to all the colleges of Odisha. There may be participant of IIT and NIT Rourkela also. If it is on campus, the competition is within your student or your batchmate. Now, if it is a pooled campus, the competition will be tough and it will be among IIT, NIT, Burla, KIT, ITR. Had it been with KIT, ITR, Burla, then we don't have any problem because you are the best. But the challenges is that there may be chance that NIT and IIT may be participating in the pooled campus. So to take care of all these things, the challenges ahead with you, that you have to prepare more systematic way to crack the placement. So there are a few options. The number of job offer will be reduced. Earlier we have 450 to approximately 500 on-campus placement or on-campus and off-campus placement per year. Now it is expected that maximum 150 to 200 placement may be done through pooled campus, not through on-campus. as I discussed with the HR of different companies, core companies, as well as with the software companies, with the all other companies like textile company, so they have reduced their target. Even if consultancy company, the mass recruiter, they may not recruit. There are some companies who, big companies, they have already refused that they will not recruit for the next 2 years. Very few company they have shown interest only TCS, Wipro, Accenture. So all other company they have not confirmed. Some company already denied that they will not hire any student for this year. So this is just like a lockdown period for the placement session. So to get placed, the best way is to prepare for GATE or CAT. So if you prepare for GATE well, there is a chance that you may crack PSU. Then if you are preparing for CAT also, it will help for scoring good mark in the CAT,
No.
join the management school. Or even if you fail, you can be within that 100 to 200 student who will be placed from CET Bhubaneswar. Now our target is 100 to 200 from our institute. This may be reduced. There is very rare chance that it will jump more than 200. So to be within that 150 to 200, you have to prepare. Next slide.
Sir.
You have to participate in the online hackathons offered by almost all the companies. Even core company, they are offering some competition. Like Women of Metal, Bajaj Motors also doing, and Robert Bose, almost all company they have started. There are some case studies they are giving, some are giving hackathons. So through hackathon, if you are doing well, you will be given replacement offer. Or else you will be given a paid internship. If you do well, there is a chance that you will get also an offer. But it is a top competition because it is throughout the India, you have to compete all the final year students. There will be around per branch 5 lakh students. So within that you have to compete, and the nozzle, this is just a convergent nozzle. 5 lakh student will be appearing, and the divergent nozzle. The output will be hardly 50 students. Within that you have to compete that one. So to do this, you should be thorough in coding as well as communication skill. For coding, you have to go through hackathon, CodeShape, GitHub, and other platforms are there. They are freely available. Try to participate in there, and your senior student will help you. If you are stuck anywhere, your seniors will help you. And while discussing with the some company, they are in the opinion that they may recruit some student from the prestigious institute through their alumni referral. So if you have good contact with the alumni, so through referral also there is a chance that the company without any interview they can observe you. So we are trying to strengthen also alumni cell. Lastly, we are not that much hopeless for on-campus placement. We are still hoping that on-campus placement will start in the month of November, December. So preparation is on your hand. Now don't waste this time. You just work hard for these 2 months. You will enjoy the 50 years of life, rest of your life. If you enjoy these 2 months, then you will cry for the next of 50 years because this is a top time. So work hard. Next slide, please. This I will hand over to Satyajit. He will explain uh, about the coding skill and communication. Then I will come at the end. Kamarjit sir will come at the end also. Satyajit.
Thank you, sir. So I'll be basically giving you guidance about how you can prepare on your coding skills, basically. So to crack IT companies, generally, all IT companies allow students from CSE, IT, instrumentation, and electrical, most of them. So, and the only thing that they want from them is aptitude skills, coding skills, and communication skills. So, coming to coding skills, these are some of the ways that you can use to strengthen your skills. So, first of all, one of the important things that you have to know is a programming language. So let's say C, C++, Java, Python, Ruby, Kotlin, whatever you have skills on, that's fine. But try to have a grasp over the object-oriented programming part as well, because those are generally asked in during the interviews. Also, coming to data structures and algorithms, you should be aware about arrays and data structures, so that in some technical interviews they do ask you about those. And for deep core computer science and IT students, they might ask you about SQL, MySQL, and other database and networking concepts. But for mass recruiters and low-level profiles, these are generally not that required. Also, we can talking about the communication skills. You should develop that. You should have good speaking skills, and you should have better expression of ideas. And for that purpose, you can start preparation from your home level. Also, like you should be able to speak fluently. You do not need to have good vocab or extremely high jargons. Those are not required. But simple English is completely fine. Also, to talk about analytical skills, you can practice aptitude basically. That will help you a lot. And also, you can try for some guesstimates that those are available freely on the internet. So to do these things, you can start preparing all this through various platforms such as LeetCode or HackerRank or CodeChef, etc. I'll be detailing about all of this preparation when I'll be preparing about, I'll be speaking about my particular experience during the placements. So this is it. Coming to the resources, these are some of the resources that you can employ for your particular preparation. So for you can just note it down. We'll also share this slide with you once the session is over, so that you can have a check over all these particular sites. So for tech interview, you can have this particular handbook, and LeetCode is a newly established coding platform for you. So you can have some practice some coding challenges, and you can also get some interview experiences and mock interviews. There are some 75 top 75 LeetCode questions you can also practice. And there are some also e-assessment sites such as My Anatomy, Edify, Interview Mocha. Also, if you want to have some paid experience, then you can also subscribe to CoCubes or AMCAT or Litmus, etc. And these are some of the mock interview sites, Pramp, interviewing.io. You can go through those. So, sir, I'd like to you to speak about this particular.
Yes. Looking into this situation, we have decided that there will be a one job policy, because we have 800, approximately 800 BTech student and 400 PG student. UG student 800, PG student. So out of 1200 students, we are hopeful that we will be placing only 150 to 200 students. So if a student gets more than one job or three, that will be 2 to 3 jobs, then the number of students actually placed will be reduced to 75 to 80. That we don't want. Nobody will want that only 75 to 80 students should be placed. So looking into this, we have changed our placement policy that this year we will only have one job policy. Having said that, if the situation will be improved, then we may change that one software job and one core job. That will be depend later on. But for the time being, this will be one job policy only. once you place, irrespective of the package, irrespective of the types of company, whether core or non-core company, one job is allowed. Once you placed through on campus or through off campus or through full campus anywhere, or we came to know that you have placed of your own, you have got a one job, then you will be not allowed to participate in any placement after that. So for the time being, there will be only one job policy. If situation improves, hopefully if situation improves, then we may allow the job policy as per previous year. For the time being, it is just one job policy. Over to Satyajit.
Okay, so thank you, sir. So these are some of the core companies that visited our college for our batch. So from analog devices to Macleod Pharmaceutical, you can see the list out here in the screen. And we have also mentioned which branches are allowed for each particular company. And these are the some of the companies that visited CET for non-core sector, coming from FactSet to Genpact. You can see the list out in the screen. So we'll be discussing the strategies on how to prepare yourselves for these particular companies. And I will also talk to various students from our batch who will be guiding you and sharing their experiences that they felt. So I'll start from myself. So my name is Satyajit Mohanty, and I was placed in TCS Digital through the on-campus placement process. So I'll be discussing about the common preparation strategies for the following companies, TCS Digital and Ninja. And also I'll give you some ideas about mass recruiting companies such as Accenture, Infosys, Cognizant, Capgemini, Wipro, ITC Infotech, etc. So all of these companies have recruited from our college in during our batch. So generally, the strategy is common for all these companies because these companies, since they are doing mass recruitment, so they do not generally focus on group discussions or such similar tasks. What they do is they eliminate you through the written test, and once you are able to or not able to clear the written test, they'll take your PI accordingly. So the first objective that you should follow is you should make sure that you crack the written test anyhow. So for entry level as a low level profiles like TCS Ninja or let's say Infosys system engineer. So for those kind of profiles, you do not need to have the written test is not that much complicated. Like they'll be asking you about quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, and data interpretation and probability, but the level will be quite less, low. Still then you need to prepare also, but that is fine. Like if you are preparing for CAT or some other examinations, then the level that is being followed there, it's up to that. If you are preparing for TCS Digital or Accenture FSC or similar roles, then or maybe there are some roles in Wipro such that a project, a power project, something like that. So for those particular profiles, the question level in the written test is little bit difficult. So it is on the difficult side, and you need to prepare more aggressively towards that. So coming to the programming skills, you should have knowledge about C, C++. It's important. Java, Python also is preferred. And for let's say TCS Digital, you can choose either of C, C++, Java, Python, or Perl. We were given these 5 options during our written test. So my preferred programming language is Python, and I was comfortable with it, so I chose it. But if you are not comfortable with Python, and if you want to do your programming with C++, C, or Java, then you can comfortably do it. There is no issue. You can have a selective option. The OOPS concept is preferred because they do ask you about OOPS and its concepts during the interview. So to clear the programming or the coding round, I'll suggest you all to focus on competitive programming. There is no escape from coding skills. If you do not have coding skills, then I can assure you that you will be facing a lot of problems. So if you have not developed coding skills from now, you can start your preparation. It will not be that difficult. I kind of was not that good in coding, and I prepared myself within 2 months. So you can start preparing through HackerRank. So for easy level problems, you can HackerRank has 3 levels. Like what I did for me was I went to HackerRank. There were 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard. So I was able to solve the easy level problems, And those kind of problems will be coming in the written test of TCS Ninja and other similar written coding tests. And if you want to crack the coding round of TCS Digital, then you have to solve the medium level problems in HackerRank. So those are equivalent. And hard level problems in HackerRank is not required for these kind of companies. But if you want to target Amazon or Google or big brands paying extremely high packages, then those levels are apt. So also you need to have some basic theoretical knowledge on discrete math, like the binary trees, graphs. Those are being taught for to computer science and IT students. Some programming concepts such as inheritance or polymorphism, or let's say arrays, stacks, queues. So you should have knowledge about that. Object-oriented programming languages, concepts about that, how it happens, class, object. So all those things that you have to basic just you have to learn. Then if you have ideas about dynamic programming, then it is good because generally interviews ask you about those. If you are unable to solve problems using DP, then no problem, but at least they'll ask you the concepts behind it. Also complexity theory, they might ask you like which if you write a code, then your code may have some optimization. So those just basic knowledge they ask, so you can just have an overview of those. Also, during my thesis digital, I was asked about some math problems. They'll focus on functions, graphs, like suppose let's say sine of log x. So what will be the graph of this particular function? What's the slope at this point? So those basic questions that you studied in during class 11 and 12, they'll basically ask those questions. So you need to prepare about that. Some basics of calculus like derivatives, and some basics of statistics and probability. And you see in this slide, the things that I have highlighted in red color, those skills are particularly required for niche profiles like TCS Digital or Power Programmer profiles for Infosys or higher profiles for Wipro. And these are not particularly required for the low level of profiles. Similarly, if you have some industry 4.0 knowledge, then that is the bonus point. It's not mandatory, but it definitely helps because when I was appearing for my interview during Research Digital, they were not that satisfied with my profile because I am, first of all, an electrical engineer and they want hardcore programmers. So, but when I showed them that I have knowledge on machine learning and I have done courses online and I have some projects about that, and they asked me all of those, and I was able to answer all of their questions very easily. So they were pretty impressed with my performance. So that added a particular impression to my profile. So that definitely helps. So I'll suggest that if you have some idea about it, is fine. If you are not, and if you are having interest on any of the newer technologies, then you can go through some online courses and work on simple projects. Like let's say for machine learning, you can use some logistic regression and make some particular project. That will be fine. But you should show that you are able to learn and you are eager to learn, you're a quick learner. That will definitely help. Also, coming to communication skills, it's a must. If you are not able to speak properly, if you are not able to express properly, then they'll not be impressed with you. So what you can do is you can read books and novels that will definitely help you with sentence structuring and vocabulary and grammar. Also, you can practice conversing in English with your family and friends. That definitely helps. Also, you don't need to use heavy vocabulary or jargons. You don't need to be a Shashi Tharoor in English. Just simple English, that's sufficient. Also, they might ask you current affairs or industry knowledge to assess how smart you are and how up to date you are. So you can read newspapers. And also, I'll suggest you to download two apps, Naptili and LiveMint. Those are very helpful, and you will definitely get to learn a lot more about the current affairs that is happening around. So this is from my side. And if you have any queries or doubts regarding this, you can ask during the Q&A session, which will be after all the presentation. So thank you. I'll now request Pooja to continue with her presentation.
Thank you, Satyajit. Good morning, teachers, and welcome to my juniors and my co so, hi, I am Pooja Agarwal. I'll be sharing my views on an experience about my placement drives in analog device and Robert Bosch. So, starting with analog device, this There was two rounds, written round and the interview round. So in written round was basically pen paper based round. In that round, we got around 40 to 50 questions, in which 10 questions were for general aptitude. So I'll say general aptitude. You should practice general aptitude and should know it, because it didn't seem easy questions to me when I appeared the exam. And for the CSC, the technical questions were basically on finding the outputs, and were focused on our subjects for operating system, computer networks, and data structures. So I felt when I was giving my exam, pen paper based exams, as I was preparing for my gate examination. So many questions were just picked up from previous past year gate questions. So while seeing the questions, I can figure out that the questions were from a previous year gate examination. So I'll say that the level was not easy. And if and I don't want to say that you should prepare for, if you want to attend this, you should prepare for gate even. I'm saying that whenever you sit for an interview, and in personal life also, you should be thorough with all the conceptual subjects which you are going through. We have a idea of only just studying for an examination for one day and just giving it, but please don't follow that. For three subjects, I'll say programming and data structures, operating system, and the computer networks, you should be able to know the concept, because not only it will help you clear your interviews, but it will be applicable and you will have to use it while working in a company. So you should prepare accordingly. You should have a clear conceptual knowledge about this subject. Then in interview round, there were around 5 rounds. A resume really matters, and in resume, it is not just that you have to just put some fancy things so that they'll be impressed, because they can catch you. They don't just see the resume, they ask questions from resume. So whenever you give a project, even though it is a small project, you should be thorough about it. They test your presence of mind and your knowledge about your subjects through the resume. They give you case based studies questions on your uh, on this project which you have done, and they just don't want to know what projects you have done. They just want to know what was your contribution, what was the challenges you faced while doing the project, and what actually you did, how you managed the stress and the challenges when it came across you. So while screening, they you will think that we'll give a resume and they'll see the words and then they'll be impressed, but they know how to tackle, how to question you. So I in my first round, it was all based on my projects, what I have done, and they asked me questions about what will if they gave me scenarios, if this was the scenario, how your project is going to help in that. And they basically focused on data structures and questioned me about OOPS programming. So you should know about OOPS programming and how, not only what the terms mean, but the real life implementation. You should be able to give examples from the real life which can match those scenarios. And like yeah, they'll question if. And one more tip which I like to give is, even if they ask something and you don't know, please never say that I'm sorry, I don't know. You try to show your understanding on the topic. Say that you can say some question, if you're asked what a particular thing is. Suppose you are asked what actually Docker is. If I'm speaking for computer science people, if they know, don't say that I don't know it, or I haven't worked with it. You can say that I know that Dockers they create kind of containers, but I will learn about it and I'll surely like to work on it. And you should never say no to any question. You should have some answer and work accordingly. So for Robert Bosch, if I want to say that it was around, we were given 90 questions and it was computer based test. For computer science students, it was the same. You have to answer the output kind of questions. The programs will be given what will be the output. OS, data structures, and computer networks was the main subject where the questions were allotted to. And in Robot Bosch also all the technical questions were based on array, data structures, linked list, and trees. So you should be uh, thorough with these concepts. And in trees, you should know the basics like what in order, pre-order, and post-order traversals are. What the basic knowledge is also is also sufficient, but you should be thorough with what you are presenting and what knowledge you have. So if I move on, I did. I was selected in the written round for TCS Digital, but in the it was my first. I was going to attend my first interview. I was not selected for TCS Digital, but rather I was given a Ninja profile. But yeah, that was my first rejection, I can say. But I was sad, but it led to my success story. uh, you After the first rejection, it gave me that confidence that I can attend any interview without any fear. In my first interview, I was nervous, and in this nervousness, um, I was not able to think properly and answer the questions properly. So yeah, communication skills does matter. You should focus on your communication skills, because or else later after the interview you will regret that why I was not able to answer it even though I knew the question answers. So please do focus on your communication skills, your presence of mind, and uh, uh, hear the questions properly and do think before you answer. uh, then I would like to say two things, that success never comes easy. If everyone would have got it, what's so special about it? So you should always, if you want to do something, get your hands dirty and work on it. Unless and until you work for it, you will not get it. And if you start working towards it, then somewhere or the other you will reach a point. I would say for analog devices, if I got the position, then I would really give a part of uh, thanks to my gate preparations, because because of my gate preparations, my technical knowledge was far about clear, and I was able to answer the questions. And in the in all the interviews, I was able to answer them because I was clear about my concepts, clear about my projects. So I'll just say that you should, if you want to do something, get your hands dirty. If everyone will ask how to prepare for it. So competitive, as Satyajit said, competitive programming is also very important. Unless and until you get your hands dirty by practicing questions, you won't be able to clear it. So don't just worry about what will happen in future. Just do your work and have faith. If you work hard, you will surely get your output. That's it for my end. Thank you. If you have questions, you can ask me at the end.
Thank you, Pooja. I'll now request Pratyush to deliver his experience.
Thank you, Satyajit. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Pratyush Malik. In the next couple of minutes, I'll walk you through the preparation guide, written pattern, and interview process for the mentioned placement drives. And as Pooja brushed you through the process of interview process and also the written process of devices, I will concentrate on the firmware engineering part. And as a firmware engineer, I applied to the firmware engineer position at Analog Devices, which came to our college through a pooled campus between IITs, NITs, Burla, and CET. So the competition is quite high. And as a firmware engineer, you should have sound knowledge in your hardware as well as software. That's where you work as a firmware engineer. So coming on to the written pattern, it had questions on DSP, microcontrollers, digital electronics, calculus, engineering mathematics. These were the basic questions, and also coming on to the questions from the software part. They were from mostly output questions, and most of them were output questions, and some of them just fill in the blank questions. And all these questions, as Pooja said, were somewhat the preparation required to solve these questions is of as a GATE aspirant. So these questions were directly picked from the last year GATE questions, and we have around 40 questions, and they also consist of aptitude questions, which were quite difficult. Even I felt it. And after all this, if you consider, only 25 of around 300 students, I guess, were selected for the interview process. For the an interview process, as you know, these consist of 5 rounds, and in these 5 rounds, there are 3 technical rounds, 2 HR rounds, and each technical round is an eliminating one. So you have to qualify one round in order to reach the next. And the interview round, uh, uh, they basically subjected me through the hardware first part. They asked questions on my hardware knowledge first 45 minutes, and then if they think you have a good grip on a hardware part, they will grind you on the software part. It's either ways. Or if you have a good knowledge on the software part, they will grind on the hardware part. They basically want to know what happens when you are not familiar with a situation, or you don't have a knowledge with something. Are you able to put your existing experience and try to find out a solution, or just give it up? So yeah, so this is what they do. And mostly they look at through your CV, and yeah, you should mention only the points that you are confident about, or else you'll be in a trouble. Yeah. And now coming on to the IBM part. In IBM, they have a special written test, online test, that is known as a cognitive ability test. It is a measure to check candidates' aptitude uh, it's developed like a game. So you have 6 games to solve in 1 hour, and the difficulty of these questions keeps on increasing as you solve more and more them. And after that, you have a learning ability assessment, and that is a psychometric test. It is mostly a elimination round. Most of the students get eliminated in this round. For example, there is a question and there are 5 options, and these 5 options represent as disagree, slightly disagree, neutral, uh, slightly agree, and agree. So basically, they test if you yourself counter your answers. So the same question you see on the first page, you'll see the same question, but a bit twisted, and with the same options. So you have to make sure that you answer the same for both of them. And after that, there's a language test, which is a basic English language test. And after that, there's a coding test. The coding test is mostly of entry level problems in the HackerRank. And all these steps, the whole process takes like we went to, and it was a pooled campus, so the competition was also quite high. And we went around 7 in the morning, and came back at 7 in the evening. So nearly 12, it takes around 12 hours to complete the uh, uh, whole interview process, so written process. And the interview process is mostly on your managerial skills and how you tackle like a question they asked me. And the interview process was the what will we do if one of your teammates isn't working efficiently? So that kind of questions. So it's not difficult to crack it, but you should be good with your communication skills as well as your presence in your mind. Yeah, people do get tend to get nervous during the first interviews, but always remember to remember that you are on His mercy. So please keep a smile on your face while you answer all of these questions, and also I would like to mm, say that my juniors who are in 2020 who are going to pass out in 2021 batch, you need extraordinary efforts in order to survive this year's placement drives, because it's going to be tough anywhere you go, whether you go for masters or job placements or anything. The opportunities are quite limited, and so as the opportunities are quite limited, the competition goes high exponentially. So yeah, all the best, and thank you.
Thank you, Pratyush. I'll now request Radhanath to continue with his presentation. Radhanath was placed in three core companies: Mega Servo Drives, Windmoller, and Maruti Suzuki. So he'll be able to guide you properly on this. Radhanath?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay. My name is Radhanath Mishra, and I'm from Electrical Engineering Department. Whatever I speak today is mainly for the students of electrical. I would be talking about three core companies which visited our college in the academic year 2019-20 for campus placement, namely Medha Servo Drives Private Limited, Windmuller and Holshare India Private Limited, and Maruti Suzuki India Limited. In the end, I would also briefly talk about Tata BSN and JK Paper. So let me start with Medha Servo Drives. It is a Hyderabad-based company involved in railway business, mainly design and manufacturing of locomotives. If you are recruited, you would work in the Research and Development Center in Hyderabad. The recruitment process has two stages. First one is the written test. For the written test, we had been provided with a list of subjects, which I have mentioned in the slide. But most of the questions are from electrical machines, power electronics, and aptitude. So you need to be thorough with these subjects. If you clear the written test, then you'll be called for interview to Hyderabad. For any interview, you need to prepare your resume. So in the resume, do not mention your coding skills, even if you are good at in coding. For core companies, do not mention your coding skills because it may have an adverse impact. So in any interview, before the interviewers start asking questions, they'll tell you to introduce yourself. So prepare a brief bio sketch about yourself. And if you compare the interviews for the three organizations, the interview for Medha Servo Drives was the most technically sound one. You need to go into the details of each and every question asked. For the other interviews, you can skim over the surface. Now, in the interview, they asked me to describe my 7th semester project because I had mentioned it in my resume. You can also mention your 4th sem projects and other projects if you are thorough with them. Then they asked me about my favorite subjects. I mentioned network theory, electrical machines, and power electronics. From network theory, the questions were to determine the steady state voltage across capacitor in different circuits, and then what will be the voltage across a capacitor when a current source is connected across it, and so on. For power electronics, I was asked to describe the operation of a three-phase diode bridge rectifier in detail with circuit diagram and waveform. And from electrical machine, the question was to describe the operation of three-phase induction motor. And the HR round was easy, and questions will be common for all the companies. Like, why do you want to join this organization? Why don't you prepare for GATE? And then, would you have any problem with relocation and so on? Now, moving on to Windmuller and Holshare. Windmuller and Holshare manufactures machines for flexible packaging. You can get details about the organization by visiting its website. Okay, it is a Germany-based company, and if you are recruited, you will join as a service engineer. And this job involves extensive traveling, and it is only for boys. Girls are not allowed. So the first round is the written test. There will be 200 questions, 100 technical and 100 will be from aptitude. And it will be a computer-based test. For Meena server race, the written test was pen and paper based, but here it will be computer-based. And most of the questions are easy and will not involve a lot of calculation. Some of the questions are asked from special electrical machines like reluctance motor and propulsion motor. So go through them. And then those who clear the written test will go for the GD. In the GD, the topic may be related to current affairs or it may be some abstract topic also. For our group, the topic was theoretical knowledge versus practical knowledge. And then those who clear the GD will go for the interview. There will be 2 rounds. In the first round will be held in our college, and then for the second round we have to go to Delhi. And most of the questions will be from induction machines, principle of operation of 3-phase and single-phase induction machine, and then speed control of induction machine, particularly V by F control, and then star delta starters also. And if you mention some other subjects as your favorite one, they may ask you questions from there also, like digital electronics or power system protection, etc. Now, in the interview for for Vingola and Holscher, it may so happen that you are answering the questions correctly, but to stress you out, they may tell you that this is wrong. But don't stress out and try to keep yourself calm so that you can answer the question. Now, finally, we move on to Maruti Suzuki, the dream job for many of you, I think. It has 3 rounds, a written test, and then presentation and interview. But the presentation round is not an elimination round. So everybody who clears the written test will appear for presentation as well as interview. The written test has 3 sections: aptitude, technical, and psychometric. And then the test is conducted by AMCAT. All of you must have appeared AMCAT test, so I think you will be aware of the format. There are no negative marks, but once you answer a question and move forward, you cannot go back to that question. For the technical part, questions were from control systems, power systems, machines, etc. Aptitude is a section that is common for all the core as well as non-core companies, so prepare it well. Questions aren't very difficult, but still you need to prepare. And then the psychometric test. In the psychometric test, there will be several questions. For each question, there will be a situation, and then there will be 4 choices, and you have to choose the most appropriate and the least appropriate actions for that. Please be patient with the psychometric test because it can get irritating at times. Okay. And those who clear the written test will go for the presentation and interview. For the presentation, you have to prepare 2 slides. In the first slide, you have to mention your accomplishments in the 4 years of engineering. You can mention your academic achievements, projects, internships, as well as your co-curricular activities. But try to mention those experiences which will be relevant for your job. And in the second slide, you have to write down about the cluster or department in which you want to work in MSIL. Don't worry about this now. If you clear the written test, then you will be provided with a PDF where all the departments of Maruti Suzuki will be described in detail, and then you can go through it and choose departments according to your preferences. Now, moving on to the interview, your interview will depend heavily on your presentation. Generally, students mention their internships and projects in the presentation, so they are asked questions related to that. Okay, that's all about Maruti Suzuki. Now, in any interview, remember that you are not expected to answer all the questions. You are allowed to make a few mistakes, but make sure that you do not panic and you remain calm so that you can answer the other questions correctly. Now, moving on to Tata BSL. I had appeared the GD for BSL, but I could not clear it. So the topic was Chandrayaan 2 mission a success or a failure? And then for the interview, I asked my other friends, and they told me that most of the questions will be from electrical machines, power system protection, and if you have done your training from OPTCL, then questions will be asked from there also, for sure. And JK paper, I have not attended the recruitment process, but I have heard from my friends there will be a pen and paper based written test, and then an interview. In the interview, again, questions will be from electrical machines and power system protection. HR round also. So electrical machines is a subject that is common for all the core companies, even power system protection also. So these subjects are. That's all that I have to say.
Thank you, Radhanath. I'll now request Shubham to share his experience.
Thanks, Satyajit. Hello, everyone.
Yes, you're
So
audible.
I'm Shubham Tandon. Okay. So hello, I'm Shubham Tandon. So I was selected in Inkjet Technologies as an on-campus placement drive. I've also attended a New Sigma drive. So I will be sharing experience on both of this. So for me, like before going through this, I will just suggest one point that make your first impression count. It's very important when it comes to placement, right? Because usually it's the case that I've noticed with the, and also sir will agree with me, that in the case of CET students, like once in the PPT round, we don't ask many questions. If you take the case of other institutions like ITR, KIT, and Kurla, they seem much more interested in the company than they would ask more and more questions. And we don't do that. So like, it shows your interest in the company. So try on asking such questions in the PPT. So that will make a good impression of you towards the HR. So coming to Inter Technologies, so we had the written round on the Skillenza platform. It was a new platform. Other companies don't do use this platform. So it basically consisted of the aptitude, English, reasoning, and coding round. So for me, coding was on an easy level. I could easily do the 2 questions in 15 minutes. And the questions basically consisted of string and array manipulation. So, but the questions were easy, but the cutoff was also high. So the cutoff was around 75%, and only 20 students could clear it. So 20 to 22 students. So the next round was design thinking. So this round is new, and in this round they exactly so they gave us 3 questions, and like the questions were like to develop a e-library system for your college, and like develop a how do you set up a solar plant, like feasible solar plant for all over India. And also there was one more question like how you will support digital India. The question was considering all over India situation. I don't remember the exact question. So here what you have to do is present your ideas on the topic, and make make flow charts. Like, for the I choose the e-library system. So for the e-library system, you have to consider all the use cases, like how the users will interact. So you have to make flow charts. You have to present your ideas in bullet points. So I would suggest that make more flow charts in that. So after that round, we had the interview round. So the interview round basically consisted of three rounds: technical, techno-managerial, and HR. So in the technical round, they will mainly assess you on your Java concepts, because this company Future mainly works on SAP Cloud Platform. So the SAP Cloud Platform is similar to AWS and Google Cloud Platform. So and they use Java mainly. So they tested me on my its concepts and also SQL. They also asked me about my projects and if I had some knowledge on data structures as well. And comes to the techno managerial part. So the techno managerial was mainly concerned about the projects that I have done, and how I managed in the project. It was mainly accessing my teamwork skills, and like if I had come across some challenges in the project, how do I manage it? That were the questions. And also after the design thinking round, they gave us a form. In that form, we have there were questions like what are your strengths and weaknesses, who is your role model, and why he is your role model, and some similar questions like that. So this sheet was used in our HR interview. So in the HR interview, they mainly ask us questions like how, like, you think, what have you like you have done any, you think you have done failure in your life, at what point do you think so, how did you cope up with it? So there were questions like this, and all of the interviews, there was no elimination round. They have to go through all these interviews, and in the final they will accumulate all the points from the interviews and then get the result. So coming to the Mu Sigma interview, so Mu Sigma process. So the written round was on Focus platform. So this year Mu Sigma only allowed BSc and IT students. So the questions mainly consist of case studies. So there are like questions will come in paragraphs, and you have to understand that paragraph, and then there will be questions, case studies according to them. And this year, the test didn't consisted of psychological questions. Previously, before my batch, it usually consisted of psychological questions. So after the Mu Sigma written test, so we went to a cool campus drive in ITR, and first there was group discussion round. So actually this year they took less students, so they eliminated a lot of students in the group discussion round. So we were around 41 students divided into 6 groups. So they completely whitewashed 2 groups, and in 4 groups they selected 2 people from my group and 1 from each other groups. So and this GD is different. In this GD, you don't have to like support a topic or be against a topic. You have to give ideas on a topic. Like my topic was there were 2 people in the GD round, so they told me that he's an HR of Uber, and since all this competition is increasing, so how do you think that Uber can incorporate new services to give it an edge over its competitors? So you have to give some ideas. So it's better if you start the discussion, if you give present your ideas on the first. So that's what I said, your first impression count. So I did the same. I give my idea. I started the discussion, and coming to the interview round. So in the basically Mu Sigma takes stress interview. So they will challenge you. They will give you questions. They will check. They will always tell you that are you sure that is right or not. So and the interview mostly consists of they check on your analytical and mathematical skills. So they will give you uh, problems that are the mathematical problems, and you have to solve them. And also they will and they don't judge you on your data science skills. So Mu Sigma is a data science company, but they don't judge you on that. And if you know data science, that is obviously an edge over other students. So and it mostly consisted of mathematical reasoning stuff, and at last they selected only 4 students. So I was rejected in this, and what I will give you an advice that always go through the company profile. Always make a good research about the company. Don't say anything that you don't know about the company. Don't say any wrong things. So just stick to the facts. Otherwise, you don't know, just say no. Okay, so that's my part. Back to Satish.
Thank you, Shubham. So I'll now request Ankit to continue with his presentation.
Yeah, hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello, everyone. Hello, juniors. And so today I'm going to share my experience in the following, like in FactSet in campus drive, applying off campus to various companies. And also I will be comparing my work experience at a software-based and a product-based company. Okay. So before starting, I would like to say, because through each when you apply to any place, there will be an interview, right? So a basic tip for every interview would be to assume that you don't know what the recruiter is exactly asking. So you try to get as many information out of the interviewer as you can. Okay. So I'll give examples of this as I go through my experience. So for FactSet, there was a online coding screening test, competitive coding. There were 3 questions, and people who scored fairly well went on to the next round. Next on, there were 3 rounds for me. Basically, first was round where they checked how my thinking process was. Second round was a bit of a data structure, and third round was my peer interview. So first of all, what did they ask in the thinking problem? So they gave us a few problems. The few problems were pretty simple ones, like array based problems, and what they asked us to do was to give us a optimized solution. Okay, so initially I also gave a naive solution to the problem, and then he brought out the caveats of the solution that I gave and asked me to optimize it. So during this process, what you need to do is you need to communicate well with the interviewer to get to know, okay, how exactly how optimize, like how exactly the time complexity do you want of the problem. So in that way, like I communicated pretty well with him, and in the process the interviewer can also help him. Somehow he can give you hints if you're stuck at a situation. So so there were two problems basically, and I took a bit of time to go through them, and then uh, I answered one pretty correctly, and other one I actually couldn't answer, but the interviewer helped me a bit, and then we came to a solution. So then after that, we were screened to the second round. In the second round, there was basically they asked like to implement simple data structures, like to implement problems using simple data structures. Like one example was to multiply two numbers using a linked list. So they asked us to write the code in C or C++, like because the interviewers are familiar with C++. But like I already said, feel free to communicate if you have any problem with the interviewer. So I talked to them that I don't know how exactly this is implemented. So they gave me, so they made it pretty easier for me. They gave me functions for linked list, and like then it was pretty easy. I gave the solution I thought in mind, and after that like they checked it and they say, okay, sounds good. And next on there is the HR interview. The HR interview was pretty simple. They'll ask you questions that will test your like decision making skills. So mine was a question that a pretty difficult question for me was why do because my CGPA kept on decreasing a bit by bit till my end sems. So they asked me why is your CGPA decreasing and how do you think, and like the way you answer it is you answer it pretty diplomatically, to be honest, and so that both of you will be satisfied, like he will be satisfied with your answer. And okay, so that's it. And then coming on to that was the in-campus drive. Then coming on to applying off-campus. So you can apply off-campus to various places. The first of all, I'll talk about the big companies like Microsoft, Amazon, how they conduct their hiring. So generally they hire through the competitions they organize or the contests they make. Like Microsoft has programs for hiring where they usually conduct various tests. They conduct hackathons. Amazon also does so. Like there are specific programs for women too uh, in those companies. And what you need to do is you need to keep a lookout for these things, and you need to apply to them, and you need to check previous iterations of the contest and how the questions were faring and how you were going to approach it. And so and most of times these are mostly based on competitive programs. So like I already said, try to get a knowledge. Like you don't need to be a master of competitive programming. You need to know how to solve a problem. You need to know how to approach a problem. And like if you think about solving a problem in the proper way, that will help. Okay. So then coming to applying off campus to various startups. So startups have pretty specific requirements. Okay. So instead of companies which do not have which have pretty variable requirements, so what they do is they take you on the basis of competitive programming, and then they provide you resources to train you to the work they want you to do. But startup have pretty like specific, like currently I am working as a backend developer for a startup. So they they, they have specific requirements. So what you need to do is, suppose if you have a resume based on a JavaScript or any other language or any other skill you're working, you are a React developer or a Node.js developer, what you need to do is you need to keep your fundamentals strong first of all. If you're in JavaScript, then know about promises, know about callbacks, know about how closures work, so those stuff. Then what you need to do is you need to build a proper network for yourself. How you do that is, if you're learning something, you write blogs about it, you post it on Twitter maybe or LinkedIn or anything, to show people that okay, you are working on this, and yeah, like my experience is on this. And for applying startups, I guess the LinkedIn plays a bigger role. So you need to create a good LinkedIn network, like a strong network, like connect to people who are working at higher level, ask people to endorse you. In that way, um, recruiters will generally approach you if you have a specific skill. uh, so there's that. And last I would like to compare my work experience working at FactSet, which was a software based company, which is a service based company, and working at two startups. So uh, in services companies, generally there are like pretty relaxable deadlines. Like you don't get to learn much. You have a specific job at hand and you need to do that, and like there is no time limits on it. Like this was my experience. And in startups, generally there is very like deadlines are very small, and you need to work a lot. To be honest, you need to work a lot. But the thing is, as you work a lot, you also grow a lot. You learn a lot more stuff in startups. So this is completely your choice on where you want to go. Like startups are completely product based and they have specific needs, but software as a service companies do not have that. So I have worked with both of them, and like I generally prefer working at startups because of the amount of knowledge you get, the how quickly you can grow. So there is that. And so that concludes my talk. And if you have any questions you want to ask, you can reach out to me anywhere, or after the thing is over in Q&A, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ankit. I'll now request Yati to start with the presentation. Hello, Yati?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible right now.
Oh. Hello guys. So I am Yati Padia from CSC branch. So today I'll be sharing my experience of my internship and how I was able to get that internship in Red Hat. And so yeah, starting with the thing like open source is the main key thing that helped me a lot. So I would really suggest like this open source thing, the different programs like JSON, G-Shock, and other things opens a wide opportunity for all of you to connect with different companies and get into it. Like really, getting into this program was really helpful. So for me, for my telling about my experience about Red Hat, I got the chance to give the written test through this online program, which I qualified. So after winning GSOC, I got the chance to write a written test from the company itself. I was I did not have to do much effort to reach out to them and share my referrals and other things. So I was lucky enough that I got the mail from that. And in the written round, it was really easy. I did not expect like the company like Red Hat would give this kind of questions. So there were like 5 or 6 MCQ questions and 3 competitive coding program. So see, competitive program is really very important in competitive program is really very important when it comes up to interview in off campus. So getting an off campus is really difficult. So getting into off campus is really difficult, as I have felt. Like it was my luck that I got the chance, and I don't have to reach to different companies, and I got the chance to participate in their placement drive. But it not happens with everyone. So there are few things that we have to keep in mind. Okay, first I'll let you know about different rounds, and like as I told that in written round we had like a few questions, and the questions were really easy. I could solve them in 30 minutes, and I think if you know a little bit of logical and logical analytics is good, I think you will be able to do that. So after that, I had a technical interview round that was almost about 1 hour 40 minutes. Like it went too long. So they really asked about my all the basics, and they went through the resume. So resume is really a very important thing. When you like write something in resume, even if it is of 2 lines or 2 pages, you must know each word or each letter about that. So it is really important. So whatever I wrote in my resume, they asked about it, and even they asked about me about the file system and different topics like system designing and other things. So these all topics that we read in our curriculum are really important. It was my point of view when I was like when I was in all the semesters learning all the subjects, I was like, what is the use of this system design, all these models, waterfall model and other things, and in operating system. So it for me it was like, why we are we reading all this? So when I went to the internship, while all this, when I saw like it was practically implemented, like waterfall model is practically implemented, and all the stuff that was. Then I felt like, yeah, I should have focused on the classes. I should have attended the classes, and it's like just not focusing on the exams. Like every important that you read, every subject that you read in this 8 semesters are really important. Every subject has its own important and implementation. So I really request you all to just please also focus on your subjects that you're reading. None of the subject is a waste, or like don't study for just writing in the examination. So because like writing BPUT exams and giving working practically implementing all this thing is different. So try to focus everything. All those basic concepts will be asked by you in the interview also. So basically, my technical interview was all about competitive coding programs. They asked me to write, and it was all online. And yeah, so it was. I felt it was of a moderate level. The questions they asked was really good, and it was like level. It has a level. So that was qualifying. That was also doubtful, but I was really happy when I got to know that I cleared that round. And the final round was managerial interview. For the all the participants who have cleared technical interview, I guess it is not difficult to qualify managerial round, because managerial round is all about like they just want to check whether you are a good culture fit for them or not, and they will ask you basic questions, and they are not so difficult or tricky. So if you qualify technical round, it means you are good for managerial. It's good to go. So you can clear. So all this thing was, and one more suggestion that I would give, like for especially for the CSE and IT students, if you want to go into a really good company, the importance of internship is really plays a very important role, because once we go into company and work there, and working remotely is really two different things. So I really suggest, if you get an opportunity to go into the company and work there for 6 months, please do go. And I'm sure if you get into some good companies, you will get a help from our placement teachers and everyone's, and they will allow you to go. But it's really important. You get a lot of connections. So for off-campus, LinkedIn, as Ankit was saying, LinkedIn and other platforms are very important. So it's important to have a good connection. So I would like to say, like, when I was initially, I was not having my LinkedIn profile also. It was in second year that I created. But once you start updating your profile with all your works, and your works come into visual of different companies, you will get called by themselves. It was due to my LinkedIn profile that I got the chance to participate in Google Placement Prize. So I also got a call from Google and Amazon, and they reached out to me through LinkedIn. So it will be really great if you have a good LinkedIn profile, mention your resume, mention your details, and whatever work you are doing, keep updating. Show them that you are good at something and you are doing something regularly. And so having a good LinkedIn profile is really helpful. I would like to share a link. Okay, that will be really helpful for the those who are targeting good companies like Microsoft, Google, and Adobe. Also I gave a Adobe written test and interview. So it's really good to practice competitive coding. I'll just share that with Satyajit, and Satyajit will share all those links. I am unable to paste here at all. So yeah, I'll share those links to Satyajit, or who they will share, mail it to you guys. But I got the chance, like when I participated in Google, so they gave me resources that was helpful. So I got 500 questions and the link to those. So it was like they said, when I looked through all this question, I was like where I was for the remaining 3 years. Had I have done all these questions and had I been focused with all those things, like if you at this point of time also you have time, if you do all those questions, no, I can guarantee like you will be able to easily crack Google, Microsoft, and other companies. It is not that difficult. But the thing is, you need to be good with concept and analytical skills. Okay, they will be basically when I see when I participated in Google, Adobe, and Amazon, they all gave programming questions basically on string manipulations, array mappings, and others and algorithms based. So if you once practice this, I will share the link that has questions topic wise, and that will be really helpful. If you practice those 500 questions and you are clear with all those concepts, so I think you can participate, and you can participate in any of these big companies. And yeah, so that was all my experience of that I have participated. And my suggestions to you guys will be like first, as I said, profile. Maintain your LinkedIn profile, maintain your resume well. Try to get a wide connection, because as this time, as we are in lockdown, so our off-campus is very important. Like off-campus drive becomes very important. So try to connect with different peoples and get into touch with them with referrals or with your work, and participate more and more in programs like open source programs and or hackathons. So that will be really helpful. So yeah, that's all from my end, and thank you so much, guys. And you can ask if you have any question, you can ask me questions, or you can mention in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Yati. I'll now request OPJ to give his presentation.
Hello, thank you, Satyajit. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello.
You're audible. You're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be talking about Vedanta and the selection process of Accenture, and some of my experience and tips that I would like to suggest all of you. So let's start with Vedanta. So the campus placement for Vedanta consists of 3 rounds. The Boolean assessment, which will be conducted by CoCubes, which will be having 60 questions in 60 minutes. And there will be questions from quantitative, analytical, and English. And these questions were pretty basic, from time speed work, and volume density, probability, puzzles, LRDI, and which can be easily cracked by 90% of you. Then coming down to group discussion. So my topic was economic growth versus ecological growth. And for group discussion, you need to practice various duties with your friends, and so that you can ace it easily. Going to personal interview, there will be one round including of technical and HR. So they'll be checking your background, and they'll start with pretty basics from your engineering subject, your projects, and internship. So then Accenture, already Satyajit have talked about Accenture. There will be an online communication assessment test which will be taken by you through Proctor, which will be web Proctor, and the online assessment will be of 2 rounds. That would consist of some programming questions and basic quantitative and aptitude questions. And for FSC, there will be 2 coding questions, and which will be very basic. And if you know some like Python or C, you can easily crack them. Then we'll have a group interview, which will be only HR mostly. There was no technical aspects to the interview. And then coming down to my suggestion and tips that I would like to pass on. The first one would be, do not take this time for granted, else you will regret it later. Prepare as much as you can and as soon as you can. And secondly, prepare mainly, maybe you will face the technical or HR questions. And for technical questions, I would suggest you to know the basic concepts of your engineering subjects. And as far as the languages are concerned, Python and C would probably help you all the way. And coming to the HR questions, list out certain commonly asked questions in a notebook. Write the answers and keep on updating it. And speak and practice those answers in front of a mirror and record them if you want to. Then third point would be, when a company comes for the placements, try to have at least some idea about the company, like what it does, who is the CEO, the recent news on the company, and the various things the company work on, their work culture, etc. And search for the company on popular websites like Glassdoor and Quora and learn about them. And as Shubham said, you should ask questions in the before the interview or the process. And also, if it's a reputed company, you may be able to find the technical and interview mock questions. Practice them before you go for the placement. And whenever you go, keep a habit of being prepared. And this is a high time where you should let go of that "jo hoga dekha jayega" attitude. Okay, so, and most important is keep in touch with your seniors and alumni. They will help you through every obstacle they faced in their time and you are facing right now. And they may even tell you all the important points on how you can back that job. And coming to the most cliche point, but cliche it may sound, but try to stay positive and hopeful. You may feel this is unnecessary and how hard can it be? But when the time comes, you'll realize why I told you. You won't feel so positive and hopeful during the mid placement season when most of your friends would be having 2 to 3 jobs and you are yet to open your account. I have almost tried for 10 plus companies and have given 4 to 5 interviews only to face rejection. And at times I have secluded myself because the results were so disappointing. And how to go through that phase, Madhuja will explain more about that. And then be confident. It helps. And not only does it help you prepare efficiently, but also helps you cope up with the rejection you face. And 7th would be the never believe when someone tells you the company has a window cutter. That is, both the top rankers and the bottom rankers will be rejected. Even if it has such criteria, you just give your best shot in every exam and never try to degrade your own potential. Then coming to CV, prepare a decent, formal, and to the point CV. Do not exaggerate much and keep only those points which you almost know everything about. Limit the CV to 1 page only, and never add that doesn't add much to your skills or achievements and what you know a little about. And during the interviews, maintain a body language with confidence. Relax and have a conversation formally, and wear the decent clothes, and with formal shoes. And a white shirt is appreciable or with dark trousers, and don't wear wood shoes. You weren't going to attend a viva. You're going to discuss your future with them. Okay. So even if you are, and the last point would be if you are planning to go for higher studies, which I would probably suggest now, considering the present case scenarios in our country, never miss an opportunity of the placements. Even if you are selected, you can always pursue your masters. And the experience that you gain during the interviews and the placements, that always counts. And so you should gather as much as if you can. And by chance you get rejected, you will know where to improve the next time. And finally, just don't agree with the HR when he says, do you plan for higher studies? That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Om.
Yeah.
I'll now request Keshav to continue with his presentation.
Okay, Satyajit, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Hello, everyone. I am Keshav Jain, and today I am going to discuss about the placement process of Deloitte USI and the related strategies which you all need to follow for getting selected into it. So basically, I got selected through a PPI which was offered to TechNotes of competition, and that too had an interview. But I was also present while everyone was interviewed in ITR. Deloitte is a pooled placement, so you have to compete among ITR and Burla and NIT. So the competition is tough. So there are basically 3 rounds. First is the online test, which is conducted by AMCAT. So I guess almost every one of you have appeared the mock AMCAT tests, which we regularly appear in our college. So basically the test pattern is almost same. There will be logical reasoning, mathematics, English, and a little bit of psychometric analysis. And the question level is not too difficult. It is doable, and a little practice from genuine books and websites may help you to crack those exams. After that, the students who are selected in the online test are directed to appear jam and interview in ITR. And in that jam session, actually jam is something like just a minute. You have to speak for a minute. This is something different from a group discussion. Okay, so you will be speaking alone. There will be no one around you to discuss with you. So just a minute generally has topics which are abstract. Generally, there are abstract topics. I will share some of the examples of topics which were there last time in JAM. So few topics were like black is the new white, and AI versus humans. What is the impact of machine learning, and how a CCTV can breach your privacy. So these were some of the topics which were asked in just a minute, and you will be given around 20 to 25 seconds to think and make your points, and then you have to speak for 1 minute. Just a minute is an elimination round. So people who get selected in just a minute go to the interview round. So interview will be a one-on-one interview, and there will be many panels. There will be various panels, and each one of the students selected will be directed to one of the panels. So like what exactly they are asking during the interview depends on the panelist itself. So what happens is generally there are few fixed questions. That is, first and most important is tell me about yourself. This tell me about yourself part gives you an opportunity to describe whatever you want to, and to keep the first impression that you need to keep. So I would suggest that the tell me about yourself part should be like you should prepare 3 to 4 minutes of tell me about yourself, and you should be very confident with it, and do not try to mix fancies and mix something which actually you have not done. That will actually make you nervous, and the interviewer might catch that you are lying. Also, I would like to suggest everyone that try not to fake your CV. This is very important, especially in the case of Deloitte, because Deloitte, the interview panelists will be completely focusing on what your CV mentions. So you have to be very thorough with what you have written in your CV, and basically try to keep good projects, because the complete interview will be somewhat based on what projects you have done and what impact it creates on you and on the future and on the society. Deloitte Deloitte has a tagline, impact that matters. So they basically focus on what things have you done and what impact has that created on society, on a better future. So keep that in mind, and accordingly create your CV, build your preparation. Also, you have to keep the interview as a conversation. That is very important, because they do not like a monotonous system of just answering the questions. They would like you to interact with them, also know what their work culture is like, how how their journey in Deloitte has been. So that things are also important. So I would like to now discuss what to prepare actually for the written test. Basic aptitude, uh, uh, higher level aptitude is not that needed. Genuine manageable knowledge of aptitude is necessary, but you have to be very very good in communication skills, like your speaking, your sentence formation, your choices of words, your expression uh, should be very good. Your coding knowledge is important, because the written test will not test you for any kind of coding. There will be only aptitude and psychometry. So coding is important for mentioning in your resume, as well as they may ask it in the interview as well. Like you have to be uh, like fluent with one of the coding languages, as many of my friends have mentioned. And again, a good resume is very important. Keep it compact. I would recommend keep it like compact to one page, not more than one page, and try to mention only necessary things. That anything you have done and anything you have achieved, you will mention everything. Try to keep it simple, and so that it will be easier for you to explain to them, because everything ultimately will depend on how your resume looks. Okay, so how to prepare? Again, there are few important HR questions that Deloitte focuses on. That is, tell me about yourself. What are your technical skills? How do you feel that your projects have made an impact on society? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? So these are some basic HR questions that, uh, like around every company tend to ask. Also, there are some basic PI questions for Deloitte. Suppose there can be a situation where they will stress you at some point. For example, while I was interviewed for the pre-placement interview I got, I was stressed upon, like I mentioned C and Python as the coding languages I know, but they stressed upon that all our work is done using Java, and you do not know Java, so you are not fit for Deloitte. They simply mentioned that you're not fit for Deloitte, but you do not have to get nervous at that point. You have to be diplomatic and answer in somewhat like, sir, I am good with I'm good with syntax, and learning I'm good with logic, and learning a syntax will not be a great problem for me. So if I try and work accordingly, I will learn Java as well. So you have to be like somewhat diplomatic, and being blunt in your answers is not a problem here. You can be a little blunt, but do not be very overconfident or harsh. So that is my suggestion. Also, very important thing is that for Deloitte, you have to be very, very very, very thorough with the informations of Deloitte. So I would recommend you to follow website, Deloitte USI Consulting website, and their LinkedIn channel. So you will be updated. You will be always updated with what exactly the scene is, and how they are going through different technologies, different areas, and that will give you a very good idea. So Also, there is a suggestion that do not keep the particular thing in mind that Deloitte is completely non-technical or completely technical. I'm continuously saying that this is totally depending upon what the interviewer wants. So there were many of my friends who were asked nothing about any kind of technical thing, but there were few who were asked only about the project or somewhat about many ideas of Industry 4.0. As Satish also mentioned, keeping some projects and skills related to Industry 4.0 will be very, very helpful. That will be a bonus to your resume, and you have sufficient time, so you can go through many courses that are available online on Coursera or whatever website you prefer, and you can grab some of the technical skills on Industry 4.0. Also, try to brush up your communication skill. That is the most important factor for Deloitte. Otherwise, I would also like to suggest you a few things related to placement drives in general. That is keeping a decorum, which is very important. The time ahead is very tough, I know. For your batch, the placement season will be very challenging. So uh, try to cooperate with the placement coordinators. Also, try to be in a particular discipline and genuinely help yourself. That is very important, because I have seen, and every placement coordinator, we have seen that people are not ready with their documents, with their resume. They at the last moment ask placement coordinators to go and print their resume, and that is very shameful. uh, Students who are appearing for a placement drive are expected to be ready with everything, because that is their future, that is the key for their future. And uh, keep that in mind, that you have to be well dressed, uh, well neat and clean. Do not have a beard. That is very cliche, but I would like generally suggest that. And uh, try to maintain a good body language while you are inside a jam session or in a GD or in an interview. Body language actually matters. Keeping the eye contact, keeping a proper eye contact, keeping your hand movements, do not shake your leg, and keeping a straight posture. These small things actually matter. We do not insist on these things, but these small things actually matter. Again, for every kind of interview, as I have observed in last 1 year, being diplomatic and confident is the key. You may not be able to answer every question. You may not know everything that an interviewer asks, but being confident actually matters. And show them a ray of hope that you are keen to learn. You are keen to grab some extra knowledge for the sake of working in the company, and that will actually impress them. So that is all from my side, and I would like to welcome more questions after this session.
Thank you, Keshav.
All over to Satya.
Thank you, Keshav. I'll now request Madhuja to follow up with her presentation.
Hello, am I audible
Yeah, you are audible.
clearly?
Yeah, clearly. You are clearly audible.
Good afternoon, sir. And hi, guys. I know you must be exhausted with such a long session. I won't take much of your time. Okay. So most of my friends, they have talked about the technical aspects. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the technical aspects of placement, basically. See, what's a common thing that happens is that your friend gets placed and then you get depressed. Like, oh God, he's placed, and what I do? Like, I'm never gonna get placed. All these things come to your mind. Okay, so see, placement is not a one-day thing. Okay, not all the companies will come in a single day and will hire you. Not all the companies will come. Not all the companies will hire all the students at one time. It's a gradual process. You have to have a lot of patience for that. Okay, so now I'll be talking about how to play this game of placement. Okay. Most of the time, what I have this is a mistake I myself
Excuse
have
me,
done.
Madhuja. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Actually, your voice is not that audible right now. So can you please speak closer to your microphone?
Hello, hello,
Please
hello.
like that. That will help.
Am
Yeah,
I
actually.
audible now?
Yes, right now.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Interruption. Yeah, see, I'm gonna talk about how to play this game of placement. See, most of the time, what students do is they waste their time, doing mostly the aptitude questions. They waste 24 hours doing the aptitude questions only because that's what I have done. So I think most of you will also do the same thing. But that's not at all right because maximum of 2 hours to minimum of 1 hour to practice aptitude question is more than sufficient for it. Okay, you cannot just leave your college work and all your projects, or if you're preparing for gate or cat, you just cannot leave those work and just prepare for aptitude question because that is not at all advisable. See, and one of the things that I have seen and have observed in many of my friends is that you don't learn things that don't please you. Okay, if you don't like ML, don't forcibly learn ML just because it's a trend. Don't, all I mean to say is that choose your area of interest very wisely because that will only please you, and if your work doesn't please you, you won't be able to do it nicely. So for that, do what you love. That doesn't mean you will say that you don't love your brand subject and you won't study that. I don't mean to say that. Okay, then coming to how to crack the HR. Okay, my list of rejection is very very long. I don't even remember many interviews I have attended, and I don't even click the written round itself. So I have pretty much of experience in all these things. I will be able to say it very nicely. First, I remember the time when I got all of my friends, they got selected in Robert Bosch and I didn't, and I cried pretty hard. And I don't want you to do have the same experience because please don't be company specific. Because if you keep expectation from a company and if you don't get it, what happens is that you get mentally stressed and you get emotionally unstable. So uh, for that you are not able to perform in the next 2 or 3 placements. Like without any mental stability, you won't be able to perform anything, right? So that's not at all advisable. And then coming to what I have written, the magic potion for interview and GD. Please be outspoken and extrovert because if you are not, if you don't have any of these quality, you will be facing a lot of problem. See, in case of GD, if you don't even know, if you know nothing about the topic, but just try to say something. I think I think you should have the basic knowledge of the topic that you can throw even a sentence or two. So just don't shut your mouth out there in GD. Just try to speak something. And in case of interview, you know, be be true to yourself. Don't lie. But if you have entangled yourself in a lie, there speak the lie confidently so that they don't feel that you have, you know, lied. So be very confident in front of the interviewers. Okay, then see, I'm gonna share my experience of Tejas Networks. We were all sitting over there in the interview hall with the pre-placement talk, and they were giving their talk, and they were also asking very few questions, and many were not responding to it. So I thought, why not responding? So I just had some, I just answered 1 to 2 questions, and then I was asked out for the lunch with them. So I guess because I was outspoken at that time, I got an opportunity to have lunch with them, and then I got an opportunity to know them better, and also they got to know me better. So all I want to say is that uh, being outspoken and extrovert really helps in interview as well as in GD. Yeah. And then see, one thing I'm gonna talk about resume is that keep your resume simple. Don't fake anything in your resume. Yes, see, but that doesn't mean you have to keep it very simple. You have to have something. You have to have something in your resume, right? For that, don't waste your time, please. You're not, you look children or what that I have to explain you all these. We are grown up. You know what to do, what not. See, so you have to work hard on yourself. At least have something good enough so that you can explain it to the interviewer. So that with the thing which you write in the resume, you can explain it very well to the interviewer. Okay, and then what else? Okay, yeah, one thing I want to talk about is mental stability. You know, when you get rejected in a company, you just become so mentally unstable that you're unable to perform good in the next 2 to 3, even I don't know, 2, 3, 4 in placements. So being stable and not losing hope is what it's advisable, because I see we will be not able to perform well then.
Hello, hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So that's what I meant to say. That have some mental stability and don't panic. If we don't, just be very confident, but that doesn't mean you have to be overconfident and over smart in front of them. And then see the company, the interviewers in the HR round, what they do is they try to test you. They try to test whether you are able to handle stress or not. So they ask you different questions. They ask you about your location, whether you will be handled to you will be able to stay here or not, or whether you will able to travel or not, and whether you will be able to work on this new technology or not. Just say yes to every question they ask, because they just test your ability to handle stress, nothing else. And then just stay calm and answer the question quite confidently and with a glow. There's nothing placement is not just is such a big thing as you might be thinking right now. Gradually we'll get to know about it. Okay. So what I want to say is that don't give up easily, because I myself have faced so much of rejection. Like it's more than 10 to 20 rejections I've faced in the written round only. And coming to Tejas Networks, yes, there was a online test round. It had, I guess, 30 aptitude questions, and the technical questions were mostly from, computer networking and architecture. So, if you want to prepare for Tejas Networks, so prepare for the computer networking topic. And then during the HR round, yes, I will ask many puzzles. So be sure whenever you go to any interview, just prepare some puzzles. You just can Google it and you will find it in Quora only, many puzzles. So since I'm from instrumentation branch, and that's a telecommunication product based company. So I was asked all the questions from my resume only, and then they asked me about, so, and yeah, whatever projects you do, please be thorough about it, because if you do not answer it correctly, they will get to know that you haven't done it. Okay. So yeah, be true to yourself in front of the interviewer, and if you are not true to yourself, lie such a way that they won't get to know that you are lying. Okay, that's what I want to say. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuja. It was a beautiful talk delivered by you. Yes, sir.
So, yes, Satyajit sir will conclude regarding this today's webinar. So, there were 10 speakers who told about the preparation of how to prepare and how to crack the placement. Most importantly, they have almost all have mentioned about coding and project. Project is not from CRP or fire station. You have to do your contribution to the project. You mostly ask about the project, and yesterday I talked to Infosys HR regarding the selection process. He mentioned that now we will be going for project evaluation. The student who have involved himself in the project will select them only. It is not that earlier what we are selecting the process, we will be speaking about the technical knowledge more. Simultaneously, we will see what project the student done and how much involvement with the project. Besides the coding test, also almost all the company will introduce the coding test. So all the students are requested to do the project, at least very innovative project, and contribute to that project. Be ready with a project report also. Now I request Satyajit sir to come.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you, Satyajit, for hosting this session, and this was a good one. I hope it will be helpful for all the 2020 participants, at least for preparing for the placement drives which might come this year. Thank you, Satyajit, Pooja, Pratyush, Shubham, Radhanath, Ankit, Yati, Madhuja, Om, and Kesav. So all these points are really essential. If we look carefully, out of the 10 speakers, they all have bagged multiple offers, right? But which might not be the scenario this year, because this year the placement season will be a little bit dry. Out of these 10 speakers, they all means out of these 10 speakers, 5 have got offer through off campus. So in off campus, if you look carefully, Satyajit and Kesav got placed through Deloitte through pre-placement offer before the placement drive itself started. So even same happened to Pratyush. Ankit even got placed through GitHub. Yati placed through off campus through Red Hat. So all these, one thing is important to build your skills. Whether you get placement now in the off campus or on campus or after 1 year, whatever company you will be joining, it will not be the final company which you will be working for. The main thing is you have to build your skills. Without skills, everything will be difficult. So whatever they have suggested, you have to build your skills through improving your coding skills, doing some projects, whatever is interesting for you. You cannot work on everything that is okay. As well as prepare for GATE or CAT for the improvement of your technical knowledge. Even if you do not join, some of the questions they are coming in the placement drives like analog clock devices or Maruti Suzuki, whatever Radhanath or Pooja they had prepared that helped them. So even if the placement drive is low, there is nothing to worry. At least you are having some time to prepare. It is not the end. So what I can suggest you, even if you are not getting the placements easily, that will be one benefit for you. At least you can improve your skills. Think of a scenario if the same situation would happen 5 years from now, and you will be in your comfort zone. You will be already placed in some IT company, TCS, Infosys, and you have no skills. At that time, if the layoff offer happens, so it will be difficult to get a job compared to the situation now. So now at least you have a time to build your skills and join in a good company or go for higher studies somewhere you can contribute. So whatever you do it in a better way, even in the coding side or core side. And hopefully the numbers will be low, but it will not be impossible or it will not be difficult. The only thing we have to do is the average of CET has to go above the average national average, in which case the numbers might increase. The only possibility we see the starting of the placements, if at all it comes, it will come after September, October time frame when the COVID situation is almost over. So till that time, participate in all kinds of hackathons, utilize all those free resources, whatever they have told, check your assessment, overall skills and everything, and stay safe. And any questions you can just drop to any of these speakers or to us anytime. So all those alumni, all those seniors and placement cell, we are always there to help you for any kind of clarification or any kind of suggestions. And thank you once again for all the coordinators. On behalf of placement cell, myself, Pradhan sir, and Vishwaj sir, we thank all those speakers and coordinators for giving your time in helping your juniors and keep mentoring them.
Yes, so final words.
Keshav?
Yes, sir. Yes. So I hope that this session was very helpful and uh, very clear about what it had the intention of. And I think that every tip and every suggestion from all of our speakers will help the next batch to uh, get a good number of placement. Maybe better than us if the situation gets any good. And again, thank you all for participating. We will have another session, I guess, for different branches, and maybe this recorded session will be circulated to you. Otherwise, I would like everyone to ask questions now. We can be there for a few time more, and you can direct your questions individually either or on the public way in the chat boxes that are provided. So we would like to welcome some questions if you have any. Otherwise, we would conclude the session.
So I see there are no questions for us. In that case, I would like to conclude the session. If you have any queries, you can drop an email to us, and or you can talk to us through WhatsApp or phone, and we'll be able to help you. So thank you all.